What is good, Osiris here? Stuck in the middle again. Thanks for joining. I did a video a while back when Kamala Harris went to Guatemala, and I talked about how even if I agree with the protesters in Guatemala, that I'm not going to laugh at Kamala. I'm not going to support the Guatemala protesters because that's our vice president. We got to roll together. So I've got to do a video now that she's at the border in the States representing, and now I have to say there are people out there, they are protesting, and we have to talk about it. It's not a surprise. This is the reason why she did not want to visit the border. I am not going to get into the immigration discussion just because that's a whole different video. I just want to talk about what's happening and what that means for Kamala in the future and the big picture with Kamala Harris. The problem I'm seeing with her, the problem when she ran her campaign. She started off with a great speech when she started to run for president in 2020, and then it fizzled out. I'm going to talk to a little bit about that. Protesters waiting to greet Kamala by the border. I guess it's fair to, for my philosophy, it's fair to do the laughing emoji. This is what we're seeing. They're whistling signs that say all kinds of stuff. Wow. I didn't expect some of these signs. These are very harsh signs.
Good morning, America. This is Irina Jackson in El Paso, Texas, and I'm here to say, Kamala, you came a little too late. We have had this crisis for years. We need solutions. We don't need you parading in the Border Patrol station or acting like you care. Americans matter. America matters. God bless you, America.
Okay, so she gets criticized for not going. Then she goes. She gets criticized for waiting too long. Now we don't want her there. It's political, and I don't know if they're paid or not or what the situation is, but the optics are not good, and that's why she didn't want to go there. What is the win-win for her? There's no win in this. If she goes there and she's tough, people on the left are going to criticize her. If she's not tough, moderates and everyone else, anyone who's not on the left will criticize her. That's why she didn't want to be there. She knew that there were going to be these protests. She's not even really in the heart of where the crisis is. It would be much worse there. She strategically placed her arrival in El Paso, which is a smart decision. But she can't run and hide from the questions.
How did you decide that right now was the right time to make your first trip to the border?
Well, it's not my first trip. I've been to the border many times.
As the person in charge of the response.
So, the important aspect of this visit is leading this visit after the work that we did in Guatemala and Mexico. Because as I've long said, I said back in March I was going to come to the border, so this is not a new plan. But the reality of it is that we have to deal with causes and we have to deal with the effects. So being in Guatemala, being in Mexico, talking with Mexico as a partner, frankly, on the issue, was about addressing the causes, and then coming to the border at the advice and actually the invitation of the Congresswoman is about looking at the effects of what we have seen happening in Central America. And so I'm glad to be here. It was always the plan to come here. And I think we're going to have a good and productive day.
What was your Title 42 be repealed now?
But why did you think now?
I don't blame her for walking away. She's not going to be able to answer every question. Here's the big picture. And I have to be honest about Kamala Harris. She had that great moment. Do you remember when she grilled Bill Barr? Woo, that was a great moment. That's when she's at her strongest. She was prepared. Ever since that great speech, her speech to announce her running for president was really good. Amy Klobuchar had a good one too in the snow, but so that first speech doesn't mean everything. She's not prepared. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she's not preparing the right way or if she's not preparing at all. It has to be one of the two things. It's either she is not preparing the right way or she's not prepared at all. She's not prepared. I don't know the name of the congresswoman there. I don't think she did either. I think Kamala, she literally forgot the name of the congresswoman.
Was about addressing the causes and then coming to of the Congresswoman is about looking.
She didn't know. I don't know her name. I've seen her before. I forget her name, but no, I guess me and Kamala are in the same boat. We've seen her before. It's on the tip of my tongue. Hey, you, the Congresswoman. She played it off well in the background there. She's not prepared. I don't know if it's a poor staffing thing. This is the same thing that happened when she ran for president. She's not ready. Now, I'm not saying that she's not ready for the job. She's qualified for the job. Don't get me wrong. She's not ready for that question. She's not, she didn't have you don't want to be overly prepared and canned. So it's good that she's not canned because she's coming across as just talking. But her staff has got to, that's what you have a staff for. The staff has got to say, don't forget who you're with. Shout out the Congresswoman. She's got your back. She's supporting you. Here, don't, in privacy, don't forget her name. I mean, you ever watch that show Veep? It really isn't, from my opinion. I have not been in DC in those rooms and all that, just from reading books and stuff, though. That's what it really is like. Your staff is that important. I don't know what's going on. Trump had the same problem. I think he just didn't want to prepare.
Our administration, it is important to be clear, is working to build a fair and a functional and a humane immigration system. We feel very strongly about that. And as you know, we inherited a tough situation. In fact, right here in El Paso was the launch of the child separation policy. You saw it as it rolled out on the ground in real time. We have looked at a system where people have been housed in inhumane conditions over the last.
Yeah, the VP has aged. This is a taxing job, and she's almost like President Joe Biden has. I was doing research for a video I just did, and Joe Biden looks like he's aged. I'm talking about from last year, where he was already a senior gentleman. He looks like he's aged 10 years. I don't know. I didn't know this. Somebody on Twitter way back, because I was talking about why doesn't Kamala take over now? Joe Rogan recently on his podcast, he was trending for it. Actually, I don't know if he's still in here for it, but he was trending because he called out and said, "We don't have a leader right now." Just like I called it out and like, Joe Biden, you got to speak on these issues and just put your stamp on it and be a leader. And he's not doing that. He can't. I mean, he's just not the same guy. And I'm like, why doesn't Kamala take over? And someone replied to me, this was months ago, and they said, you have to, you can't do more than 2 terms. So if Kamala does more than 2 years, then she won't be able to do another 2 terms. If she does more than 2 years, that will count as a first term for Kamala. They're trying to drag President Biden respectfully. I just have to be fair here. They're trying to drag President Biden along, in my opinion, to make it 2 years. Oh man, is that right? I I don't think he's gonna make it 2 years, and because they want to go on a run where you've got Kamala for 2 years, then 2 more terms of Kamala. So you would have a decade of her at the helm, and she has been the favorite for a long time of the establishment. And they're like, great, we got our person in there for hopefully 10 years. That's why they're trying to do the For the People Act. That's why they're trying to sue Georgia now. You saw that? I don't know if you saw that. DOJ is suing Georgia. This is a big deal. Why are they doing that? Joe Biden's DOJ is suing the state of Georgia because they think black people are too damn dumb to secure a voter ID and vote properly. This is racism at its worst. That's Vernon Jones. That's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because they need to win that state, to have this dominance of authoritarianism within our democracy. They want to rule this. Republicans let Trump win, and y'all are done. So within that establishment group of Republicans and Democrats are, we're done with you. He's still ruling your party. Why do you think they're trying to get the Trump organization? You see that? The Trump organization now, Manhattan District Attorney Office has informed Trump's lawyers that it is considering criminal charges against the Trump organization in connection with fringe benefits. The company rewarded a top executive, and they're going after Trump himself too now, separately from this. They don't want him to run again. He's running the party, even though I saw Ron DeSantis in one poll outpolled Trump in favorability, I believe. They're trying to get everything in line where they can keep this run. That's what it's all about. It's not about, they don't care about black or white. You really think Democrats care about black people? Are you are you serious? I just did a video about Nancy Pelosi and what she really cares about. It's that paper. If you are out here thinking that Democrats actually care in a loving manner about black people outside of the power that black people helps them maintain and stay in power, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I've got a red pill for you, and when you're ready, talk to me. But if you enjoy the steak, I don't blame you. I forget the guy's name. I love The Matrix. I forgot his name, but he's that scene in The Matrix. He's eating the steak. He's like, I'm good. This steak tastes good. Why would I eat the red pill and then go back to regular life? I'm not going to blame you for that. Kamala Harris blaming the border situation on Trump. That's just standard politics. It's actually a good idea. It's not true. I know it's not true. It's never true. Obama blamed Bush. Trump blamed Obama. That's just how it works. So I don't care about that. But here's the other reason why they didn't want to visit the border. It's not just the protesters. The Border Patrol, I don't think they're happy. And you know how I know that? Ted Cruz and Republicans visited the Border Patrol. Now, do you think the Ted Cruz and the Republicans would have visited with Border Patrol leaders if the Border Patrol leaders weren't friendly to them, friendly to the ideas of Republicans, agreeing with Republicans? Remember Ted Cruz did that speech. He's been down there. Remember he did that fake Vice type reporting? That was pretty funny. I don't know if I can search Ted Cruz and get Vice out of here. And this is almost like a live stream just recorded. I'm just off the top of the head here. Ted Cruz Vice. I think people were calling it Vice. I was. But you know that video I'm talking about where he was in the bushes? They don't have it? Oh my gosh. Ted Cruz reporter. I did a video on it. I should probably just look at my own video. Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz border. Those are different ones. I wanted the one where he was in the bushes at night. I forget what the chat was around it. Because it was a while back. I mean, it wasn't even recent. But you might have known that. I'll put a link up above if I can. It's the Border Patrol. That's what they're really worried about, Kamala. Is if she allows them to speak freely, like if I were to talk to Kamala Harris right now, I wouldn't talk to her like I'm talking in this video. There is a level of respect that we need to have for our leaders, whether they're corrupt or not, whether they're doing the right, whether you agree or not. But if I would ask, almost like the military, I would ask, do I have permission to speak freely? Then I would say, let's stop the politics, repackage the stuff that Trump was doing, and let's get back to that. There's no magical answer here. They're in a lose-lose situation. So I'm not going to blame Kamala Harris for this border crisis. Absolutely not. Just like I wasn't going to blame Trump for it. It's a huge problem. I do wonder, and I'm researching right now, how much Democrats are allowing this to happen because it helps them in voting. I'm not going to go any further than that. I know there's complications there, but I'm not able to connect the dots yet, but that's what I'm looking at. I think open borders helped them politically. Republicans like open borders because businesses like cheap labor. So there's that back and forth. They're just blaming each other. But Ted Cruz secretly loves this. He's not against this. He's acting. I'm going to end on this. There's uh, Kamala Harris's not border, but deputy director of advance resigned. So the director and deputy directors both resigned ahead of the border trip. And I don't know why. I don't know why they resigned, but I do know this. We all know Kamala is going to be president. Even if you hated Kamala Harris from the bottom of your heart and you got to politics at that high level to be her advance team, and the advance team is the team that goes to the spots before she goes to make sure that that type of stuff doesn't happen with the Trump signs and all that. They actually got to get, hey, what are the local people who support Kamala? Come out. Where are you guys going to be at? We need you here. When we come out, you guys cheer for Kamala, that kind of stuff. They resigned, and that to me is most likely pushed out by Kamala. She's not happy with them because Kamala's going to be president. Even if you're struggling, you don't like her, you're going to ride that wave to the presidency and see where it takes you. You're not going to quit. This is going to be, in 2 years, she's going to take at the latest. She's going to take over for Biden, in my opinion. There's no way. Right at that 2 year mark, it's over. She's taking. The transition will be talked about. They're already prepping us for it now. It's unclear why they're both resigning at this time, but you can tell Kamala is probably having an issue with them. So that was my big takeaway is Kamala's preparedness is not at the level it needs to be. When she is prepared, she is very good at answering questions, questioning others, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if the power is getting to her head or what might be happening there. That's why she laughs a lot. That is not just a partisan, point to just get at her. That is a serious problem. The laughter, she's laughing when she's not prepared and she's tested, awkward, you feel like you're being tested, you don't have an answer, that kind of thing. Let me know what you think. Do you think is it something else? Is it something do you think Kamala is already prepared and I'm just blowing it out of proportion? Thanks a lot for listening. Take care.